Well, we're talking about why should you be believed? And we all run into things, why should you be believed? And it really started with someone who asked for money. And I was at a gas station. That's where the story really begins. And I was at a gas station and he walked up to me and I don't know him. And he just said, and he didn't ask me for money, actually. He actually just told me a story first. He told me a story about a woman in a hotel and a baby and all blah, 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 blah. And I'm at a gas station as getting ready to go to work. Other cars are behind me. He runs up to me. He starts giving me a story. And I can see he's disheveled and he's nervous and agitated and all the other things that you assume from people that are living in a squander. And it's not to put him down. Just remember, the scripture says, remember, such were some of you before you were saved. Such were some of you before you had money. Such were some of you before you had a position. So, so take that in mind when somebody who's in a lesser position than you, because you're in a better position now. Just remember, once you were young, once you were poor or poorer, once you were the worker and not the owner, or not the supervisor, not the manager, you got to remember that. Don't allow your success or your position to make you look down on other people who are on their way up to their success or position or going through their suffering or their burden. So you must never lose that empathy and that compassion and that understanding. Just because I got mine, let him get his. That don't do that. That isn't holy. That isn't scriptural. That might be capitalist, but that is not the Lord. And so he came up to me at the gas station, and I've always done homeless ministries, no big deal. He doesn't know me, but the spirits do. Hey, go to that guy, you know. And a lot of homeless people have no problem going up to an African American. They figure African Americans have had their share of suffering. They really will empathize with you a little more. And they always have that attitude in the homeless community. So he comes up to me, nobody else. He comes up to me, tells me a story. But he thinks I'm like everybody else because most people are like everybody else, but I'm not. And I was like, listen, I don't have time to hear your story. I'm on my way to work. I can't hear your story. And I don't even know what you're saying is true. And why would I take your word? Why would I believe you're true? Any man can walk up to you and tell you anything, you believe it. Why would you? What's the precedent for believing that? What's the evidence for it? Nothing. Just a guy coming up. I don't know. My wife, my kids, my baby, hotel. Okay, I don't know if any of that is true, and and I've got a pretty much better than 50% chance that it's not true because that's the scam that they run. Pushing a baby in a cart, having a sign, that's the scam that's run. And we know that, and we understand that. And it makes it bad for the ones who are not running a scam, who really are in need. Nonetheless, with wisdom of God, you'll have to trust the Lord's wisdom and not your charitable heart or your bleeding heart. You got to use wisdom. And sometimes you might get had, but so what? Nonetheless, I told him, I says, listen, I don't know the story is true. And frankly, I don't care if your story is true or not. I say, because I don't have time to verify it. But this is what I would say. Just ask me what you want. Don't give me the story. And we know that we're used to being given stories. You turn on television or radio or YouTube and you've got somebody, they'll talk for 10 minutes. And then I say, oh, to be honest with you, here's the real thing. And they'll give you the story. No, they don't. I'll tell you, oh, by the way, send this. So people that know you, you have a reputation with them. But people that don't know you, you might want to be careful with that. You really might. Unless you're a homeless person, they don't care if they know you or not. Give me money. Or here's my story. I'm on the street. I'm this and that. I got a baby. I got a wife. I got a husband. I got a dog. I got a cat. I got a horse. Help me. So I said, listen, I'm the kind of guy you don't have to do that to. Just come up to me and tell me what you want. I don't need your story. And he thought I was pushing him away. I'm sorry. I'll just go. I said, no, I'm not telling you to go. I'm telling you to be more direct with me. Just tell me what you need and what you want. And if I have it, I'll give it. If I choose to, I'll give it. But I don't need the story. And he looked like he was shocked. He goes, "Well, I was just wondering." And he asked me for 5. I gave him 10, and he was happy. And I said, "Well, that's good." I said, "Just tell me what you need. Tell me what you want. If I have it, I don't mind helping people because I don't have time to tell you what to do with that $10. You're not my disciple. I don't know you. You'll tell me it's for the baby, but you're probably going to go and get liquor or cigarettes. But that's on you. I'm not responsible for what you do with your tax dollars, with your money, with the gift that I've given you. You're going to answer to God for that. I'm going to answer to God for did I turn you away just because I couldn't control what you did with what I gave you. Those are people that want to control everything. I don't want to control anything. I can barely control myself. The self-control and discipline I should focus on. You got it. None of the Lord's going to hold you accountable. But doesn't God do that with you and I? Does he control you really? Did he control Adam and Eve? He could, but he didn't. He's allowing you to make your mistake or make your success, to choose to obey or not. Now, he's not at your mercy. You're at his. And at any point, he can destroy you and intervene as he deems he wants to do. If not, he'll just let the river run its course. I'm going to let you fall in your butt. I'm going to let you demise. I'm going to let you go in that prison. I may stop it. I may not. It depends on my objective with you and what's going on with you. God makes that executive decision all the time. So why? God woke you up with breath in your body that you chose to curse somebody out. He gave you a commission or money and you chose to buy Disneyland season tickets or the Lakers. You chose to take the blessings of God and use it for your own vanity and insanity. He doesn't stop you, does he? Psalm 73, read it. So it's understanding. You say, what can you really control? What can you really verify? Now that changes a bit, doesn't it, when you have relationships with people? It's based on something. I can vouch for that. Well, that's what faith is. The evidence of things unseen. But it's based on something. It's not based on nothing. Faith isn't based on nothing. It's based on something. Oh, I've walked with that guy for a while. I've talked with that person for a while. Man, I've been through the battle. We went through the war. You can count on him. Why, when I was down, he was there. Why, when I needed a helping hand, he lifted me up. When I was hungry, he fed me. When I was naked, he clothed me. When I was cold, he made me warm. When I was sad, he gave me joy. When I was lonely, he visited me. You can count on him. Now, you've got people working against men like that, men of integrity and character, because they are not men of integrity and character. They tend to be more cynical. In fact, they're more cynical against righteous people than they are against wicked people, interestingly enough. They're more cynical. People project who they are because they know who they are. They don't know who you are unless they have the spiritual eyes of the Lord. And most don't have those eyes, so they won't see a righteous man or a man of character because they're not really around righteous men and men of character. So they don't even know what it looks like, what it sounds like, and how it acts. They will already assume that you are as they are because they've never known it. All the men are the same. Oh, they're just trying to get in my pants, women say, because those are all the men they've known and might have been all the men they attracted because that's who they were in most cases. In some cases, not. It may be a righteous woman in a wicked area. Not many righteous men around. So those are all the men she's exposed to. So she may think, well, all men want that. No, all men are not that way. And so you've got to understand the environment and the relationships that will shape your perspective and your view. And it could be askewed. It could be wrong because it's not a holy view, because you're not having a righteous view of things. You're having an unholy view of things. So it's important to go, why does he think that? Well, we watched an episode of a guy in Death Valley who was suffering with the same kind of thing. Who do you vouch for? Who do you count on? And remember, that relationship is based on what you know. And the enemy will try to come in between you and a friend, you and a spouse, and sow seeds of discord and division because the enemy is cynical. Why don't you tell them about the story we just watched?
There was a guy who was doing essays, evaluating stones to see if there's any value to them, any silver, any gold, and he was in a miner's town. And some people came and complained that he gave them an evaluation that was too high for what they found because nobody else would pay them what he valued. And they accused him of just giving them favorable essays, for that $5 fee that he charges for the test. And they wanted to test him. So they found a little grindstone that is supposed to be made from sandstone. And what's special about that is that sandstone doesn't have any silver or gold. It's impossible for that to mix with sandstone. So they gave him a little sample and sent his friend, his trusted friend, to go and give it to him because they wanted to trap him. They wanted him to see, they wanted to see whether he's going to tell the truth or do the same thing he did to them and tell the friend that there is something there that wasn't. And lo and behold, he said there was silver in that stone, and a good amount too. And everybody were like, that's it, we're getting him. And they came to take him away, but then they said, why don't we do one more test? Let's examine him again, and this time all of us are gonna be there and watch him do his testing. And they did that because the guy was an honest man. At least that is what his friend believed, and the friend was an honest man too. The rest of the miners, well, we don't really know about them. But they all came into the lab and they started the experiment, and lo and behold, there's silver in that stone. They all saw it with their own eyes and they were all awestruck. What? He was telling the truth? Wow. And of course, the friend was nervous too after he got that report with the silver, because the friend knew where they got that sample from. It's like, you can't find silver in that. But when it was all said and done, he was found to be an honest man. And his fiancée, she never doubted him. She believed in him because she knew who he was and how he lived his life even outside of his occupation. And he himself was an honest man. He knew himself that he wasn't lying, he wasn't cheating, he wasn't bluffing. He was giving them the true value of what he saw in every sample that was given to him. So it's very interesting when you have honest people talking to other honest people. Now, as we were watching this episode, we talked among ourselves how interesting it would be, because the man who does the testing was a close friend to the man who was giving him the sandstone. And we said, well, it's possible that because he is such a close friend with him, he actually might want to see something that is not there in order to give him a good report. And it's possible. Right? Sometimes you see things that are not there because you want to see them. It's like we say confirmation bias. And it's a risk that it's always going to backfire. And that is why when they got that report, the friend that gave him the sample was very distressed because he knew there was no silver. But he was wrong too. So the bottom line is, why should people trust you? Can you trust yourself? Are you an honest person? Are you straight up, say what you mean what you say, let your yes be yes, let your no be no? Yeshua said, no need to swear. In the Torah it says when you swear, when you make a vow, he's like, why would you make a vow as if is not your word enough? We used to say, my word is my word. A handshake was a contract. I don't need to sign anything. I gave you my word. That's it. I'm a man of my word.
Not anymore. Not anymore. 61. Not anymore. I know what you speak of. because I grew up in a generation. A man shook his hand. You shake a man, they made deals from the shake of a hand. And that was the patriarchal slogans of those days. The masculinity of a man was his word, not his muscle. Back in those days, you can count on me. I said, "A man, I gave you my word. That's what was enough." Okay. For me to ask for any more would be unnecessary because the culture understood the currency of word, the currency of integrity and character. I told you I did it. I told you I would do it. Is that enough? I gave you my word. You didn't have to swear on the mother's grave and all that unnecessary stuff. I gave you my word. And when a man had integrity, all he had to do was make one phone call. Well, the chief said for me to hire you. You're good. Well, Mark said that you're a good guy, and if anybody that's okay with Mark is okay with me. But most men today have no integrity and no character. It's all about where they work and their money. It's not about their character, the integrity. And there are men now who are less than women when it comes to their word. Less than women when it comes to their word. Can't be trusted at all. Your yeas are not yeas, your nays are not nays. You're overly suspicious and overly cynical. In other words, you have no reputation. But when you build a reputation, you can trust that man, even when he's criticizing. Oh, I trust him. He always tells me the truth. Really? Yeah. How do you know that? Well, he tells me even the things I don't want to hear and like. He doesn't butter my toast. He tells me the truth, regardless of how I feel. That's why I trust him. He's not the man that just as the yes man tells me what I need to hear, what I want to hear all the time. Oh, it's something to make me feel good. But most men back then didn't want to hear things because they wanted to feel good. They could care less if you insulted them. Hey, is this going to make me money? Is this the right thing to do? Is this they didn't care how long it took, how hard it was, how difficult it was. It's just, well, is this going to do the job? Well, par for the course, and I've got to suffer. Par for the course, I've got to go. Par for the course, I've got to sacrifice. Why? Because it was the end objective. Not, is this going to hurt? Well, is this going to make me feel bad? They didn't have drug dopamine brains back then in the 60s and 70s. It was just beginning to come into the culture. That was the onset of it. But there was still enough of that World War II generation and World War I where men, yea was yea, nay were nay. They give you the benefit of the doubt. They were going to wait to let you prove them wrong. They'd give you a chance. You could only screw them over one time, but that they'll give you a chance. All right, well, if you say, and they would even give a chance to a convict and to a homeless man, to a hobo, train jumper back then. They were willing to help another man up because they were men of integrity and character. And they weren't trying to advance the sisterhood. They were trying to strengthen the brotherhood. They used to have an expression, hate to see a good man go down. Because a good man affects many people, men and women and children. Hate to see a good man. That's another good man gone. The Bible says the value of a righteous man. The value of a righteous man exceeds that of a wicked one. And when you're not doing everything you can to encourage, strengthen a righteous man, you're part of the problem. But you guys have no problem strengthening and encouraging wicked men, half-baked men, every kind of other kind of men and women. You love strengthening the devil's kingdom, but you do very little to strengthen God's kingdom. And that's probably because you do very little to strengthen yourself. So you have no identity with men of character, integrity, boldness, and strength and righteousness. Because you yourself struggle to be a man of integrity, character, boldness, strength, and righteousness. Takes one to see one, doesn't it? And you're not one yet. And that's what makes it so difficult in this modern society, where we've lost character, integrity, and trust. We don't expect a man to be flawless, but we do expect him to be honest. A man you can have an honest conversation with. And not because you think he's God and he's the best thing since sliced bread, because you know that that's a man that's pursuing God. to be a better piece of sliced bread. The prophet ran into this problem, and he had to tell the king that he was going to go into battle. All the other false prophets and butt kissers told the king he's going to win. And the king said, "Where's that other prophet? You know, the one that never tells me what I like, the one that never tells me what I want to hear. What does he say?" Well, why would he even want to hear that? Because sometimes deep down inside, you all know that you're surrounded by people that just tell you what you want to do and they're too afraid to offend you. Oh, they go around, "Oh, I'm sorry, everything. Sorry, sorry, sorry," for no reason, as if they listen to them. No, as a mechanism of manipulation. What are you so sorry for? Hey, calm down. Have something. What are you so thank you other people when you do something? "Oh, thank you, 10,000 for nothing. You paid for the service. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much." It destroys the scale and the level where there should be a real hyperbolic, exaggerated thank you. So no one really knows. Is it really love? You do that you have no regulation. You have nothing to meter your anger, your love, your character, your integrity. And you lack that. And it's so commonplace now, particularly in America. And the headquarters of it is California. It's the most feminine, soft, apathetic, pathetic, complacent place you could possibly live, where most of their faith is exercised in a building in a coffee donut group. And it's very sad that everybody has turned into coffee and donut Bible people. Men didn't used to do that, usually the women. But now it's the men. They'd rather sit around in chairs than walk about where they're at. They'd rather take sandbags on the beach and call it a fellowship of men, like a Roman gladiator, than the men go out for 2 hours and walk through their cities 2 by 2 and let God use them, other than throwing sandbags on the beach. They call that men's study. Neanderthal, men of God. Let's go bike and hike together. And we have destroyed, there's no wonder so many of the young men, because they see what their fathers are doing. And the energy they put in basketball and surfing, the energy they put in football and golf, they see where the passion, where the male vibrato comes out. And they don't see that when you're praying, Daddy. They don't see that when you're worshiping God. No, you're very sedate. But I'll show them how to be a man. Let's go to a baseball game and slap around some hot dogs and coleslaw. Yell up and jump and put ketchup in us. Oh, that was a real good time. Let's put a gun in their hand. Let's go hunt. And that's their definition. This all be Esau, basically. But you're not teaching them true masculinity. And they don't even see that level of energy and fire when their daddy is worshiping God. So they're taught what to value and they're taught where to put their energy because you've shown them. You've shown them how to work their fingers in a bone for another dollar, a bigger house, a fancier car, or a woman that's made like of a doll baby out of a laboratory. You've taught them the wrong value. You've taught them to tattoo their skins, pierce their lips, dye, cut, shave, fade their hair. You taught them how to lift weights, get muscles, but you've not taught them how to be men of God. And so you lack the integrity and you lack the character of being able to distinguish it. And you won't know it like in this episode called what? The Mormon Grindstone. The Mormon Grindstone. Because it was during the gold rush. And it was in that Mormon territory. They had no idea that in that stone, that sandstone was silver. Funny that it's called the Mormon Grindstone. And oddly enough, so many people in this area where I live love to hire Mormons. They consider them to be most honest, even though their founder wasn't honest at all. But their founder was not their father. One thing that they've come to be known as, beside their strange, odd teachings, is they became known as men of integrity. That's so much so that the Secret Service predominantly hires Mormon men. I had a business owner down in Newport tell me, if I had my choice of hiring somebody from that Christian school vanguard or hiring a Mormon, I would hire the Mormon. He goes, or hire an unbeliever. I find the Christian men, I can't trust them. That's the reputation where I live that they have. Interesting, isn't it? Character. And so in this episode, you see trust and character. Does your word mean anything? Build a reputation. And that takes time. You can't force a reputation. And you can't demand it, as most of you would do, narcissists, because you just, I want to feel good. No. You have to earn it. And there's no greater proof of reputation, character, integrity than time. The second proof is reference. People that can vouch for you, that know you. And not the people you've manipulated to lie for you. I like to just look at the average people in the city who see you every day. I like to go up to the business owners, the restaurants where you eat, the gas stations where you pump your gas. I want to go and to see what's your reputation in the real world. And isn't that what the Lord told us to do? To be a light in the world. What would men? Proverbs 3. We did a whole series on Proverbs. But it's nice to see, because too often, or more often than not, the righteous man is punished. No good deed goes unpunished. No righteous man goes unsuspected, left alone. Paul talks about it. Yeshua talked about it. All of the prophets of the Torah. People love to punish righteousness, and they love to reward wickedness. So integrity and character, I think, is a part of that. And the confidence, build a reputation. What is said of you? By the way, the prophet did tell the king the truth after he told the king what the king wanted to hear. Yes, king, you're going to win. Oh, nothing's going to happen to you. But the king was at least smart enough to know, wait a second. That's what all the other prophets are telling me. You never tell me good news. You always tell me something else is going to happen to me. Yeah, tell me the truth. I know you're just telling me that. All right, you asked for it. You're going to lose. You're going to die. That's it. I knew that's really what you thought. See, sometimes God will let you hear, and the Bible talks about it. He'll put a lying spirit in a prophet to tell you exactly what you want to hear. Be careful. That's why it's so important to let the Lord and want God's will, because he'll let you have your will, and he'll let you hear what it is you want to hear. He'll let you be self-destructive, because he's not going to waste his words constantly trying to tell you the truth and turn you around. Okay, that's it. You're done with it. I'm turning your mind. Not only am I going to turn your mind reprobate, I'm going to let other people come and confirm what it is that you think you're right about. And you'll get people, even a man of God, to come and tell you that God will tell that prophet, tell him this. But Lord, it's not you. That's what happened with Samuel. But Lord, no. Give them what they want. They want a king. They're tired of me. No. But Lord, they shouldn't. I know they shouldn't. And they're going to grow to regret it. But tell them they're going to get one. And I'm going to get them what they're asking for. And that's why Yeshua said you should pray, Father, your will be done. Because my will and your will is a dangerous thing. So God, your will be done. Sometimes I know what's right. That's rare. But all the time you know what's right. Lord, your will be done. So be a man like that. And then surround yourself with men who are not just talking to you to make you feel good. And when you realize you're doing something, change it. If you have a hard time, ask for help. Everybody asks for financial help, but nobody asks for spiritual help. They ask for all kinds of help when it comes to money and business. My client, my business. But you don't really ask for God's help unless it's give me a verse. Oh, say a prayer for me. They love that. They use prayer like a magic wand, like they use a cross, as if, and it's not real prayer on their face, prostrate. No. On the ground. No. Oh, just, they say prayer to God like they say grace over food. That won't change it, saying grace over food. You're eating with an unthankful heart. Do you think he cares about the grace? Think about it. Integrity and character. The Mormon grindstone, what the Mormons have come to be known as. They say something and they do it. They're not perfect, of course not, but they sure seem to have a little bit more integrity and character as you encounter on their words. I know personally, just in my own life, I've never been mistreated by a Mormon. My experience has been with those who claim to call themselves Christians, whatever that may mean to them, because that means 1,000 different things. And sometimes it's the man without religion, established systematic religion in America, that'll stand up for you before somebody with a Bible with a cross around their neck. Just help, just do, be honest, be people of character, be people of strength, and learn to love your brothers more deeply and not look down on people that are different than you, who aren't where you're at. Don't beat your chest. You weren't always where you're at, and you're still not where you ought to be. So just remember that. Amen.